Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. We're going to talk about ThunderCats Roar again. We're going to talk about ThunderCats Roar because we're trying to figure out what's actually going on with this show. Now, we've done a couple of videos in the last week about the ThunderCats Roar and Teen Titans Go crossover episode, in which the showrunners decided it would be a lot of fun to have OG Lion-O descend from on high and tell the fandom that they're awful people with poopy mouths and poopy opinions. And then it gets even better. Apparently they throw a little, get a little dig in here at the late great Earl Hyman, the voice of the original Panthro, as we see a skeleton of OG Panthro, you can tell by the blue, in a cave off to the side, along with the much neglected 2011 Lion-O, right? So fans are not happy. They're not happy. They haven't been happy about this show ever since it was announced. I did watch the first episode and a half of it, and I just thought it was a very mean-spirited parody. I'm using air quotes, you just can't see them. Parody of ThunderCats. It seemed like a dismantling of the original show, and even more so than Teen Titans Go. Like, I actually don't mind Teen Titans Go that much. I definitely prefer the original Teen Titans, but for what it is, Teen Titans Go doesn't seem quite as mean-spirited as ThunderCats Roar. Now, the rumor is that the show might actually be canceled already. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. We do have some contacts in the ThunderCats community and some contacts in the animation industry, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on with this show, because people are in our mentions. They're in our mentions, and I wasn't very happy. I said, what the F is wrong with you, Cartoon Network, because of this Panthro joke. I gotta tell you, I wasn't real happy with that. But yeah, I was asking around, and people said that they thought the show was actually canceled. I didn't know what was going on, and I did have Lio Convoy, who is a ThunderCats superfan, calls himself a ThunderCats historian, and he's been kind of watching this situation, and he has some screenshots for me that I think are worth mentioning. Maybe gives a little supportive evidence that the show is canceled, but I also have some information from some other sources that seems to indicate that Victor Courtwright, at least, is still with Warner Brothers, and that they're actually promoting the show, at least at the animation studio. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it, please give us a sub. Make sure that you are subscribed. Check to make sure you're still subscribed. We're over 100,000 subs so far, guys. Thank you so much for that. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, these were the screenshots that sort of whacked the beehive, and I didn't think that Cartoon Network would have gone through with it, and they did. They shocked me. They went through with having OG Lion-O, voiced by his original voice actor, Larry Kenney, had him throw shade at the fans who were upset with ThunderCats Roar. Not a good look. So the question is the show canceled? That seems to be coming up more and more, that the show is possibly canceled. Now, what evidence is there for the show possibly being canceled? I had to ask, and I received some screenshots from some Twitter profiles of people who worked on the show, talking about how in the past tense they worked on ThunderCats Roar. Now, this is not unusual. This is kind of how, we come to some of the conclusions about the production status of different cartoon shows. We look and see what people worked on in the past. And if they're talking about a job in the past tense, chances are it's either wrap production, or they're done with this person, or whatever. And if it's like one or two people, it's like, okay, they don't need them anymore for whatever reason. When you've got a lot of staffers coming out and saying that they're looking for work, such as this guy right here, Jeremy, past OKKO, T-Cats Roar in the past. We've got Little Sasquatch, previously on ThunderCats Roar. Previously sounds like past tense. Megan Fisher, this is last year, July. My work on ThunderCats Roar at WB just came to an end, and I'm looking for storyboard or story revision work. Again, not a good sign. This is kind of how we came to some of the conclusions about High Guardian Spice and She-Ra. We were kind of wondering what was up with She-Ra, because there were people that worked on the show that were no longer working on the show. Now, that doesn't mean that the episodes they had in the can weren't still going to come out, but it does mean that people that were working on the show, multiple people, were no longer working on the show at this point in time, which usually means that they've wrapped production. This happened with High Guardian Spice too. High Guardian Spice sort of disappeared, and then a lot of people associated with the show said they're looking for work, they're out of work, they didn't know what was going to happen to High Guardian Spice. Seems to indicate to me that High Guardian Spice, however many episodes they produced of it, that's it. Unless the show winds up being a massive hit for Crunchyroll. I don't know if it's going to be or not, but I'll be honest, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to be. And, we have several people saying that they're done with ThunderCats Roar. So, what could have possibly happened? Well, as I understand it, talking to some folks, Warner Brothers did not expect the backlash they got for ThunderCats Roar, right? They kind of went into freak out mode. We know what's going on since AT&T bought Warner Media. They're looking for corners to cut. They're cutting a lot of corners. I mean, hell, they let Christine Miller go from Cartoon Network, so nobody's safe at Cartoon Network, right? So it's very possible that if ThunderCats Roar is done, if it's done, that it was just a result of a combination of backlash from fandom, bad press. Maybe it didn't play well for the executives. They're like, what the hell is this? This is not going to work. Maybe it was too expensive. It doesn't look expensive, but these things cost more than you think they do, right? Or all the above. It could have been just a combination of things, or they just wanted to see if it would fly before they committed to more episodes. And a lot of their resources right now seem to be going toward HBO Max, toward creating content for HBO Max. I mean, they're bringing Adventure Time back. They're doing new episodes of Adventure Time for HBO Max. And as I understand it from people who work at Warner Brothers, or people who are connected to Warner Brothers, that HBO Max is the end goal for Warner Media at this point, that pretty much like all the Cartoon Network content is eventually going to just be a studio, a brand name on, HBO Max, that their cartoon content is going to have the Cartoon Network or Crunchyroll or Rooster Teeth brand or Crunchy Teeth or whatever the hell is going to happen, right? So that would seem to indicate that the show has wrapped up production. However, and I don't know if I'm at liberty to show you the photo, but a couple of weeks ago, I did get a picture from an animation industry professional who sent me a photo of Warner Brothers Animation Studios building, right? And on the building, they had a massive, massive banner for ThunderCats Roar. Big, huge banner for ThunderCats Roar. Now, apparently they swap banners out all the time, but this person said that they were pretty sure they saw Victor Courtwright going into the building. In their words, man bun and all. So, and this is just, I'm talking a couple of weeks ago, guys, a couple of weeks ago. Victor Courtwright was apparently spotted on the Warner Animation Studio lot going into the building. So he could have been working on more ThunderCats Roar, or he could have been pulled off of the project completely. Don't know. But it does seem like a lot of people are getting gone, right? It does seem that way. Now, I can't go out to Victor Courtwright's Twitter to see if he's talking about it because he's got his tweets protected. I don't know if he's got us blocked or what. I could go out to his Tumblr page at victoranimation.com, and you can see all of his different doodles and stuff. And there is what looks like a second intro to ThunderCats Roar. Now, I've only watched the first two episodes. So I don't know if this is the one they're using currently, but it's definitely different from the original intro. Not much better, but it's, it is what it is. It is what it is. But he is still talking up ThunderCats Roar. So again, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here. I do think what could potentially happen, and this is true of ThunderCats Roar and true of other shows as well, is that a lot of cartoons that maybe, these studios were on the fence might get chopped now anyway because of the crisis we're having in the world right now. That thing we can't talk about. It's very possible that is actually going to curtail some different projects that are going on right now, cut series short to save money. We know a lot of these studios are going to be pinching pennies. Disney in particular, I think, is going to be pinching pennies. Netflix is holding production. We did a video before, and we did talk about ThunderCats Roar and how all the animation studios, almost all of them, are telling people to go work from home. And I think there's going to be financial damage to the parent companies because of all the closures and the chaos going on in the world right now. So, if nothing else, if ThunderCats Roar did not get gone before, ThunderCats Roar might get gone from just financial issues. Now, here's the thing. I don't wish anybody to be unemployed, right? That's not the point of this. And a lot of people, I know they get on us when we do these videos and we complain about stuff, and they're like, you just want to see people out in the street. It's like, no, actually I don't. I know the creative industry is very, very hard. Worked in comics for a number of years. We pitched our own animated series. I know how it is. It's rough. It's gig to gig. It definitely is. But I never understood why, we pair people up on projects, that they loathe. They seemingly loathe. Here we have a person who worked on ThunderCats, saying how much they hate the action figures and how ugly they are. I'm like, actually, those were some of the nicest looking 80s toys out there. The ThunderCats figures were actually very, very cool. And I had them when I was a little kid, so don't trash talk ThunderCats, But we see this disdain for reboots all the time. It's like, why are you working on this show if you hate it so much? And the disdain comes through, when they don't like the action figures, they don't like the classic designs, and then you see them, making comments and digs like this on the final product. You're like, it all makes sense now. They hate the show, they hate the concept, but they want to work in animation, and this is what the studio wants to do because they think it's money in the bank because it's an established IP. But ThunderCats have been handled very, very badly over the years. I mean, they could be doing so much more with it. And actually 2011 ThunderCats, I really think if they brought that out now, with anime and manga being so incredibly popular, that the 2011 series would do very, very well. And maybe it'll get a second chance. Maybe they'll bring it out on HBO Max and people can see for themselves just how good that show actually was. But Lio Convoy, got some of the folks talking to each other. Lio Convoy grabbed a couple of screenshots. Again, this is from a couple of years ago. And look, people talk on Twitter all the time, right? Whatever. I've said stupid stuff on Twitter. But, a lot of people working in these industries don't have a filter, and they don't seem to understand that, like, the general public is going to read your tweets. And when they're bragging about ruining people's childhoods and complaining about the toys, it's not a good look. I'm not saying they have to love everything about the show, but at least, give it a little respect. That show, that audience that was built, back in the 80s, that's why you have your job now. But apparently a lot of these people don't have jobs right now. So, and I think a lot of them are going to be working at home, and a lot of them might get displaced completely because, obviously the animation industry is not going to be immune to the thing that's going around right now. A lot of people working from home. I have to think that there might be some cutbacks. If Roar was not canceled before, again, I can't verify whether or not it is. We're hearing a lot of rumors. It would seem to be that people have left the show, but again, we're hearing Victor Courtwright's still there, so I don't know. But if Roar is not canceled because it was awful and the execs didn't like it and they're like, yeah, this isn't going to fly, it might just get canceled for financial reasons, as AT&T looks to trim the fat. Who knows? Who knows? Even if they cancel it, I don't think there's going to be a formal announcement. The show kind of slipped under the radar. They just kind of snuck it in there. So I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen, but just thought I'd give you guys an update. We'll keep you guys posted if we find out any more concrete information. We'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.